Good morning, children. Hope everybody is safe and well, and everybody well done for those children who are doing the online learning. Now, today I'll be talking about our science lesson. Okay. Now, yesterday we learned about friction and we did an investigation on friction. So, using your toy cars and your shoes, you investigated uh, how much time does it take for a toy car or a shoe to slide over different surfaces. Okay, well done to some children who have actually emailed their homework to us. So some children like Ayub, Shaili, and quite a few other children from Gandhi and Luther King class, they've emailed me the homework and they've shown me the results of their investigation. So well done to all of those children. Now, today we will be learning about mechanisms. Okay, now this will be the last lesson on forces. Okay, now we are going to explore and design mechanisms, and you're going to explain how different mechanisms work. Okay, now, now some of you had actually used a pulley to, you had used a pulley. Adam had made his own pulley using different plastic cups. Now today we are going to use different mechanisms using levers, pulleys, and gears. Okay, now, at the end of the lesson, you will be designing your own machine using different mechanisms. Okay. Now, I'm going to pass it on to the presentation. Okay. So, listen carefully. You can pause a few slides in the middle if you don't understand anything. Go back over it again. And in the end, on your activity sheet, you are going to design your own machine using different mechanisms and using levers, pulleys, and gears. Okay, now all the explanation is on the presentation, so listen carefully whilst I'm talking. Okay.
2020. Lesson 2. Learning intention to explore and design mechanisms. Now today children will be learning about mechanisms. Okay, and we are going to learn how different mechanisms work and investigate simple mechanisms, and at the end you are going to design your own mechanism for a given purpose. Now, what are mechanisms? A mechanism is a device that changes an input force or motion into a different output force or motion. Some mechanisms make work easier to do by allowing a smaller force to have a greater effect. Now, there are different types of mechanisms. They can either use levers, pulleys, or gears. Now, mechanisms are all around us. Now, here are pictures of objects. You need to identify whether these objects use levers, pulleys, or gears. Okay, so you can see different pictures, like for example in the first picture you can see a seesaw, then you can see a bike, then you can see some blinds, and then you can see the flush in the toilet, and then you can see that a boy is hoisting a flag, then you can see a clock. So there are different objects here. What objects use levers, what objects use pulleys, and what objects use gears? Think about it. You can pause the slide before you move on to the answers. Okay, so these three objects, they use levers, then these objects use pulleys, and then these objects use gears. Tracking contraptions. Now these types of mechanisms are used to make lots of machines work and help us to get jobs done in everyday life. Now look at the mechanism inside a watch. Which mechanism can you see? Now here you can see the picture of the back of a watch. Okay, we've opened the back of the watch, and then inside you can see a mechanism. Which mechanism can you see? Now the gears turn to move the hands around the clock face. Okay, So at the back of the clock, you can see that there are gears which actually help to move the hands around the clock. Which mechanism do you think might be used in a bike brake? Okay, now cracking contraptions. Now, some designers and cartoonists, they enjoy drawing and creating crazy machines that use lots of mechanisms to achieve a simple task. Now, this is an invention drawn by Rube Goldberg, a famous cartoonist. Now, he designed a self-operating napkin so that when the man in the picture lifts his spoon, it sets off a series of mechanisms that eventually work together to lift the napkin to wipe his mouth. So all he's doing is he just lifts his spoon, and then automatically all the mechanisms, they work together to lift the napkin to wipe his mouth. So he's not actually lifting the napkin, he's only lifting the spoon, but it helps him to wipe his mouth after he's finished eating. There are lots of popular games where players set off a series of different mechanisms that work together to achieve an objective. Now, your task, okay? Now, your task is to become an inventor. You are going to design a machine that will achieve a given aim. For example, a machine that throws a ball, tidies your room, or waters a plant. Think of your own aim. Okay, it can be any aim. I've just given you 3 examples, but you can use any aim. Now make sure your machine uses lots of mechanisms, including levers, pulleys, and gears to achieve its aim. Okay, now here there are pictures. I've shown you the pictures of the gears, pulleys, and levers. Okay, now one of the pulley we already designed. Quite a few children, they send me pictures as well. Like Adam, for example, he designed the pulley and he sent me the picture. So you can see that there is a picture of a pulley there as well. Okay, so you have to draw your invention on your marvelous machine activity sheet and explain how it works. Okay, so you have to write the aim of the mechanism, okay, of the machine, and you have to also write an explanation of how it works. So first draw your machine and then explain what it does for you. Good luck with the task.